unstable, unhinged, unbecoming, unsound mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Meron pang isang ulitin nyo na lang. Yes. I'm not any of those. Ang problema kasi ngayon sa mga politiko, they have never seen a politician who has nothing to lose. They have never seen a politician na IDGAF. Kung sa Bisaya pa, bahala mo din na makigdumog ko sa kanal. Yan ang problema. Kasi, I am not like them. And ang tendency sa mga ganito na mga tao, sasabihin nila, crazy, lukaret, luka-luka, buang,
Desperado, ma'am.
desperada. Bakit daw ako desperada? I am Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. I am not going anywhere. So anong ikakadesperada ko? Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? Imagined myself cutting his head. And then I'll cut his head.
And we need for him to explain. And the issue here, Mr. Chairman, of course, Attorney Martin Delgras sent us a letter representing the president, former president, but without an authority coming from the former president.
Perhaps that
And
was just...
Mr. Chairman, we have our internal rules.
I know, Your Honor.
And
but,
in fact, during
these
the
are
previous
just-
hearings, in fact, during the hearing on public on dangerous drugs, twice we excused Attorney Fortun, representing supposedly Michael Young, without any authority from Michael Young. And in fact, he presented us authority coming from his office to the corporation being listed.
Well, Your Honor,
To Michael Young.
if I may, we're not, this representation is not asking for the former president not to be excused in not following strictly the rules of the House. What I am asking for, Your Honor, is the request that we should not ask or demand a medical certification coming from the former president, because we all know that he has reached an age of a fragile age. Therefore, maybe we can grant that exception to the former president.
Mr. Chair, the non-appearance of former President Rodrigo Duterte at the Quadcom hearing today is a clear manifestation of his disregard for truth, justice, and accountability. By refusing to participate, the former president is hindering the people's right to know and denying them the opportunity to seek justice for the crimes caused by the war on drugs during his term. Libo-libo pong buhay ang ninakaw ng Duterte administration dahil sa kanyang peke at madugong giyera kontra drugs. Kailangan niyang harapin ang mamamayang Pilipino na matagal nang humihingi ng hustisya. Hindi pwedeng sabihin na short notice at masama ang pakiramdam at kailangan ng pahinga. Ang mga pamilya nga ng mga biktima, kahit matanda na, andyan po si Tatay Baylon, pumunta rito para makapagpahayag ng kanilang saloobin. So Mr. Chair, takot ba siya na harapin ng taong bayan?
So ang kinatawang ito po ay lubos na nababahala at dismayado sa hindi pagdalo ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa hearing ng ating komite. Parang naggagayahan lang ang mag-amang Duterte. Ang daming sinasabi kapag hindi under oath o wala sa tamang lugar. Pero kapag pinatawag na sa formal na pagdinig, nag-uugaling pusit na pareho. At ang dami ng rason para huwag dumalo ang sagutin ng maayos ang mga katanungan natin. Kaya I move na kapag hindi pa dumalo si dating Presidente Duterte, susunod na hearing, ay isight na siya in contempt or kung ano man yung rules natin.
Naniniwala si Antipolo City Representative Romeo Acop na puno ng galit si Vice President Sara Duterte, kaya nawala ang kanyang sense of decency sa isinagawang press conference noong Biyernes. Sa press conference itong Lunes, natanong si Acop kaugnay ng naging pahayag ni Duterte na na-imagine nito na pinupugutan ng ulo si Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at nagbanta na huhukayin ang labi ng dating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at itatapon ang mga ito sa West Philippine Sea. I think she is being overwhelmed by anger and hate. Pag ang isang tao ay sobra-sobra ang galit, nawawala siya sa sense of decency. Sa aking paningin, sabi ni Acop, how you manage your hate sa iyong katawan at yung nasasaktan ka, it's also a test of your character. Dagdag pa nito, sa kabila ng naging reaksyon ni Duterte, tiniyak naman ni Acop na ipagpapatuloy ng Kamara de Representantes ang investigasyon kaugnay ng umano'y irregularidad sa paggamit ng confidential funds ng Vice Presidente noong 2022 at 2023. Sa ganang amin, the performance of one's duty should be the primordial consideration. Trabaho po namin yun eh. And therefore, dapat walang let up to show what really happened in so far as the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President or OVP and the Department of Education or DepEd when she was still the Secretary. Giit ni Acop. Nang tanungin kaugnay ng estado ng pag-iisip ni Duterte, sinabi ni Acop na wala ito sa posisyon upang magbigay ng komento. I think we are not in a position to determine that. Siguro, it could be recommended that she consult a psychologist or psychiatrist kasi sila po ang expert dito, hindi po kami. Dagdag pa ng sulon. Samantala, sumulat ang abogado ni dating Pangulong Duterte sa House Committee on Dangerous Drugs para sabihin na hindi makakadalo si Duterte sa Quadcom hearing dahil siya ay kasalukuyang hindi maganda ang karamdaman. Sinabi ni Attorney Martin Delgado III, abogado ni Duterte, na ang dating Pangulo ay nangangailangan ng maraming pahinga. Gayunman, isinulat ni Delgra na handang humarap si Duterte pagkatapos ng Nobyembre 1.
And lastly, Mr. Chairman, we have received a letter coming from Attorney Martin V. Delgra, representing the former President, Honorable Rodrigo Duterte. But we never, and the reason why the former President will be excused in today's hearing because of he needs more rest. He is currently not feeling well and he is need of much rest. So, Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, there is no an authority coming from the former President that he will be represented by Attorney Martin V. Delgra. And at the same time, no medical certificate confirming that indeed the former President will be excused in today's hearing because of his medical situation.
If I may, Your Honor, as we all know, the former President is already old and has been experiencing, based on media reports, has been sick lately and has actually had his medical check-up, I believe. And I think, in deference to the former President, I think we should afford him the courtesy that is due to him by not requiring him to submit to this committee a medical certificate. Let us give him that extension of our courtesy to him being the former president, and his intention to appear before this committee in the subsequent hearings that we will schedule. So, if I may, Your Honor, let us not pursue the submission of medical certificate from the former president.
But Mr. Chairman, under our rules, no, malinaw po, tradition, all resource persons being invited in every hearing, especially in inquiry in the legislation, we need for him to explain. And the issue here, Mr. Chairman, of course, Attorney Martin Delgra sent us a letter representing the president, former president, but without an authority coming from the former president.
Perhaps that
And
was just...
Mr. Chairman, we have our internal rules.
I know, Your Honor.
And
but,
in fact, during
these
the
are
previous
just-
hearings, in fact, during the hearing on public, on dangerous drugs, twice we excused Attorney Fortun, representing supposedly Michael Young, without any authority from Michael Young. And in fact, he presented us authority coming from his office to the corporation being listed.
Well, Your Honor,
To Michael Young.
if I may, we're not, this representation is not asking for the former president not to be excused in not following strictly the rules of the House. What I am asking for, Your Honor, is the request that we should not ask or demand a medical certification coming from the former president, because we all know that he has reached an age of a fragile age. Therefore, maybe we can grant that exception to the former president.
Mr. Chairman,
Your
point of
Honor.
information. Point of information. May
What-
I be allowed? Kasi,
With the indulgence of
yes, with the
Congressman
indulgence of-
Paduano, what is the point of information?
because I haven't read yet, no. I wanted to be clarified on something about the letter that was sent to us by the former president. Was it included in the letter that he is sick right now, or he need more rest in order to be a part of this?
No, I believe, Your Honor, that the lawyer clearly stated in that letter that he needs rest.
And the Chairman Paduano is asking for
If
a
the chair
medical
will
certificate.
allow me to read in toto, no, part of that letter, he is currently not feeling well and is in need of much rest. But Mr. Chairman, once again, let me, first thing first, since no authority coming from the former president to be represented by Attorney Martin Bidelgra, they have to produce. The committee should direct the former president to issue an authority for Mr. Attorney Martin Delgra, for him to be represented by this attorney. And with regards to the medical certificate, Mr. Chairman, of course, for humanitarian and giving due courtesy to the former president, I might yield to the position of the chair. But on the first issue with regards to authority coming from former president being represented, claimed by Attorney Martin Delgra, we have to get an authority from the president.
Yes.
That Attorney Martin Delgra will represent him on the
Congressman
next hearing.
Paduano,
Thank you,
if I
Mr.
may,
Chairman.
I believe that it was just perhaps an oversight, no, from the part of the lawyer, because clearly in this letter, he is representing the former president, and information as to the health of the former president was also stated in this letter. Therefore, I believe that he has the imprimatur coming from the former
Mr. Chair.
president. That's the reason why maybe he wrote this letter. So,
Mr. Chair.
Chairman, lastly, Mr. Chairman, with the indulgence of Congressman Flores, of course, let me again stress, Mr. Chairman, this is our tradition and under our rules. And if we do it, if we done it, in regards to Attorney Fortun, a top-notch lawyer, and we excuse Attorney Fortun for not producing any substantial document that he was given an authority from Michael Young. What's the difference between Attorney Martin Delgra and in the case of the former president?
well,
And I think, Mr. Chairman, kung talaga po, the former president give an authority to Attorney Martin Delgra, then they wrote us a letter. The former president should send us a letter that indeed he's authorizing Attorney Martin Delgado to represent him.
1 minute suspension. Hearing is resumed.
Mr. Chairman,
With the indulgence of Congressman Dan Fernandez, the parliamentary status was the chair had to suspend the hearing for 1 minute in order to resolve the issue of being raised by Congressman Paduano with regards to the letter that the committee received stating, among others, the reason why the former president will not be able to attend the committee hearing today. And Congressman Paduano insisted that we have to stick with the rules
Yes.
of the House. And the chair immediately suspended in order that I can confer with Congressman Paduano so that we can accommodate the request as stated in the letter of the lawyer of former president that he be excused for today's committee hearing. So in this regard, may we ask Congressman Paduano what is the position of the chair of the Committee on Public Accounts?
Mr. Chairman, with regards to the second issue on the medical certificate that being required by this representation to the former president, I will yield to the opinion position of the good chairman,
Thank you.
the lead chairman. But with regards to the authority coming from the former president for Attorney Martin Delgado, we need the document so that he can have an official entry of appearance in the next hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, as I stated earlier, Congressman Paduano, Your Honor, that perhaps it is just an oversight on the part of the counsel of the former president. And I agree that we should ask the counsel to be present in our committee hearing to enter his appearance as the counsel for the former president. So thank you for accommodating my request, Congressman Paduano. So with that, we will now proceed with the next part of
Mr. Chairman,
the agenda.
if I may,
Yes, Congressman Dan Fernandez.
in addition, we were discussing about those two issues that was mentioned by you and by Chairman Paduano. And further, sinasabi po sa Section 9 ng ating rules, that yung physically present nung ating pong binigyan ng authority, para po mag-represent sa ating pong mga witnesses. And dito po sinasabi, provided further, that no witness shall be granted more than 2 postponements of appearance before the committee without justifiable cause. With that, Mr. Chairman, we have to apply the rules of this committee to all or none at all. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that manifestation, Congressman Fernandez.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman Abante.
I just would like to make it clear for the people watching this Quadcom hearing today. Are we giving special treatment to a witness just because he is the former president? Or just like what Congressman Fernandez said, that this applies to all?
Well, I beg to disagree, Your Honor, that we are giving special treatment. What I am saying and stating for the record that we extend the courtesy due to a former president. Hindi naman po ibig sabihin na hindi na po natin siya imbitahin. On this particular committee hearing that we scheduled for today, the committee has received a letter stating, among others, the reason why the former president cannot be present. So, wala hong exception dyan. Hindi ho natin siya binibigyan ng special treatment. I do agree with the chair of the Committee on Human Rights that we should stick with the rules of the House. But in this particular case, in deference to him being the former president, I would like to ask for your understanding to extend a little bit of the courtesy that is due to him. For being the former president. Wala hong special favors dito. Baka ma-misquote ako. Yun lamang po ang aking gustong ipalabas. I
Mr.
hope
Chair.
that is understandable. And,
Yes, I
this,
fully understand, Mr. Chair, and I agree with your sentiments and statement, though I believe that we should further state on the record, Mr. Chair, according to our rule, that no witness shall be granted more than 2 postponements of appearance before the committee without justifiable cause. Would they be able to do that, Mr. Chair?
yes, that is noted, and the chair will definitely agree with the position of Congressman Abante, and the chair likewise, for the record, state that we will stick with what the rules has been provided. Thank you, Congressman Abante. So,
Mr. Chair, can I be recognized, Mr. Chair?
Congresswoman Arlene Brosas, and then Congressman Plato.
And
And
myself.
then Congresswoman Franz Castro. Yes, Congresswoman
Thank you,
Brosas,
Mr.
you're
Chair.
recognized.
Mr. Chair, just a manifestation, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on October 18, the Quadcom sent an invitation to former President Rodrigo Duterte to attend the Quadcom meeting today. Former President Duterte's legal counsel told yesterday that the former president cannot attend the hearing today. Mr. Chair, the non-appearance of former President Rodrigo Duterte at the Quadcom hearing today is a clear manifestation of his disregard for truth, justice, and accountability. By refusing to participate, the former president is hindering the people's right to know and denying them the opportunity to seek justice for the crimes caused by the war on drugs during his term. Libo-libo pong buhay ang ninakaw ng Duterte administration dahil sa kanyang peke at madugong giyera kontra droga. Kailangan niyang harapin ang mamamayang Pilipino na matagal nang humihingi ng hustisya. Hindi pwedeng sabihin na short notice at masama ang pakiramdam at kailangan ng pahinga. Ang mga pamilya nga ng mga biktima, kahit matanda na, andyan po si Tatay Baylon, pumunta rito para makapagpahayag ng kanilang saloobin. So Mr. Chair, takot ba siya na harapin ng taong bayan? Yun lang po ang manifestasyon ko, Mr. Chair.
The manifestation is noted. Congressman Plato, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to our esteemed chairpersons and honorable members of the Quad Committee, guests and resource person speakers. This is to express my unqualified support to the various House resolutions arising from the tedious Quad Committee inquiry in aid of legislation, specifically on the matter of the surge of Chinese nationals or students enrolling in various educational institutions in the provinces of Cagayan and Isabela. May mga reports po kasi na libo-libong Chinese students ang dumagsa sa probinsya ng Cagayan at Isabela upang mag-aral mula pa noong 2019. It is not that I'm against Chinese students coming to study in the Philippines. However, considering the tension in the West Philippine Sea and the ongoing legislative investigations into the alleged involvement of Chinese individuals, groups, or corporations in illegal pogos, and the alleged crimes associated in your operation, it is understandable for us Filipinos to feel so concerned on your increased presence here, disguising or not as students. Having said that, honorable chairpersons, this representation fully supports the proposed resolutions aimed at bringing clarity to these pogo-related issues in our country. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Congressman Plato. Before we acknowledge the next member who wished to manifest, allow the chair to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Lordan Suan, Congressman Ernix Junicio, and Congressman Bong Teves. Welcome to the committee hearing. And Congressman Faustino Inodi. Congresswoman Franz Castro, you are recognized for your manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, ang kinatawang ito po ay lubos na nababahala at dismayado sa hindi pagdalo ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa hearing ng ating komite. parang naggagayahan lang ang mag-amang Duterte. Ang daming sinasabi kapag hindi under oath o wala sa tamang lugar. Pero kapag pinatawag na sa formal na pagdinig, nag-uugaling pusit na pareho. At ang dami ng rason para huwag dumalo ang sagutin ng maayos ang mga katanungan natin. Kaya I move na kapag hindi pa dumalo si dating Presidente Duterte, susunod na hearing ay i-cite na siya in contempt or kung ano man yung rules natin. Kundi ay ito po ay isang malaking insulto sa mga pamilya. Andyan po yung pamilya ng mga biktima ng madugong war on drugs na nandito po sa atin. Sa kanyang pagtanggi ay nagpapakita lamang ng kawalan ng respeto sa proseso ng investigasyon at sa pagharap sa katotohanan. Mr. Chair, ang mga aligasyon laban sa kanya ay napakaseryoso. Mula sa mga pagpatay sa mga sibilyan, sospek at may hirap, maging sa mga Chinese drug convicts hanggang sa pagkamatay ni Mayor Rolando Espinosa. Hindi ito mga bagay na dapat ipagwalang bahala o iwasan. Kung totoong walang itinatago si dating Pangulong Duterte, bakit hindi niya harapin ang mga tanong natin dito sa committee? Bakit kailangan pang magtago sa likod ng mga dahilan tulad ng health issues at short notice? Mr. Chair, hinihiling ko sa committee na gawin ang lahat ng hakbang upang matiyak ang pagdalo ni dating Pangulong Duterte sa susunod na hearing kung patuloy siyang magtatago at dapat nating isaalang-alang ang paggamit ng ating kapangyarihan para i-cite siya in contempt. Ang bayan ay nangangailangan ng katotohanan at hustisya, hindi tayo dapat magpatinag sa mga taktika ng pag-iwas at pagtatago. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congresswoman Caso. The
Mr.
last
Chair.
to deliver his manifestation is Congressman Keith Flores, with the indulgence of Congressman Abante. You are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I only want to confirm that I personally know Attorney Delgra, and I called him up during the break, Mr. Chair. He confirmed that he is acting for and in behalf of the President when he wrote that letter, Mr. Chair. He even sent a text message to confirm that. But I also understand that our rules require his physical presence, so I submit to the ruling of our chairpersons.
Question lang, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you,
Chair.
Congressman Keith Flores. Now, Congressman Abante, before Congressman Manuel. You are recognized, Congressman Abante.
Since Congresswoman Arlene and Franz Castro mentioned the victims, no? Yung mga kamag-anak po ng victims, can we recognize them? Can we ask all of them to stand up, please, to recognize ang mga kamag-anak po ng mga biktima?
Pwede po bang tumayo ang mga kamag-anak po ng biktima? Maraming salamat po. Pwede na po kayong maupo. Maraming salamat. Congressman Manuel and then Congressman Acop. Congressman Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, tanong lang dahil batay na rin po sa official communication na pinadala mula sa panig ng dating Pangulo. Nabanggit po doon yung, and I quote, willingness to appear before the House of Representatives on some other available date, preferably after November 1, end of quote. So, Mr. Chair, sa ganitong mga pagkakataon na sa panig po nila nag-express ng ganong availability, how will the committee deal with that? Dahil, Mr. Chair, while meron tayong mga tinitake note ng mga considerations, ayaw din naman natin na maprolong iyan, tapos baka tumagal din na hindi pala magiging maayos yung kalusugan ng dating Pangulo at madadali po ang mga proceedings ng komite na expected na humarap siya. So, sa bahagi ng Quadcom, Mr. Chair, do we have some target dates kung kailan talaga posibleng matuloy na ang investigasyon na makaupo ang dating Pangulo? Yan lang, Mr. Chair.
Well, in response to your question, Congressman Manuel, it will depend by and large on the topic that we will set on the next scheduled committee hearing. So in case where EJK will be the scheduled topic, then we will have to extend invitation again to the former president. So thank you. Congressman Acop.
Mr. Chair, pursuant to our rules on inquiry under Section 15, may I respectfully move that we extend our inquiry insofar as the issues raised in the Quadcom committee is concerned, because Section 15 requires that we terminate our hearings within a period of 60 days. So may I move, Mr. Chair, that we extend the hearing? So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion
Second,
to
Mr. Chair.
extend the Quadcom hearing, duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Good morning and welcome to the 9th meeting of this joint committee. Today, we shall continue this hearing on the extrajudicial killings that took place on a massive and wide scale during the war on the last administration. In the last hearing, we listened to the testimonies of some of the victims' families, the testimonies of Kerwin Espinosa, whose father was killed inside the provincial detention facility in Baybay, Leyte, during the serving of a search warrant, and the testimonies of those police officers who served the warrant. Today, we shall hear the testimonies of the jail guards who were on duty at that time. We hope to find out the circumstances from their perspective, given the conflicting versions of the resource persons who testified previously. We also heard the testimony of former PNP Colonel Royina Garma. In her affidavit and testimony, she admitted that the extrajudicial killings were conceptualized based on the Davao model or template, a system that has been in operation in Davao City the whole time that former President Rodrigo Duterte served as the mayor. In the alleged template, for every personality killed, a monetary reward is given to the killer. Colonel Garma pointed to former Davao City Police Chief, now Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, as the implementer of the Davao City War on Drugs when Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte became president. She then revealed that former colleague Colonel Edilberto Leonardo was the one chosen by the former president to head the nationwide implementation of the war on drugs, together with then PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa and then Special Assistant to the President Christopher Bongo, who allegedly handled the reward system of the implementation. We have seen the facts and the figures of the bloody war on drugs. By official police records, thousands upon thousands lost their lives due to the wrong manner and excessive use of force and the abuses committed by those who implemented Oplan Tokhang and Oplan Double Barrel. The reward is simply too tempting to let pass, resulting to the gruesome and systematic massacre of people whose names were included in the so-called narco list, either before they were killed or added later on to justify their killings. From the testimonies of both sides of the killing fields, we established that indeed extrajudicial killings was an indispensable part of the war on drugs, encouraged as it was by the leadership that emboldened the perpetrators to carry out with the promise of great reward, which was indeed and in fact delivered. Hindi po gawa-gawa ng Quadcom ang mga nasabing bagay na ito. Ito po ay napatunayang totoong nangyari noong mga panahong yon. Marami pa po ang mga dumarating at nagsasalaysay ng kanilang mga malagim na karanasan. Sina Colonel Garma, Colonel Mendoza, Colonel Padilla ay kusang loob na nagsalaysay ng kanilang nalalaman ukol sa mga karahasang ito na hindi naman sana kailangan gawin kung may paggalang lamang tayo sa buhay ng tao, sa mga karapatang pantao at may takot sa Diyos. Ang akala natin noon ay ilan lamang ang mga biktima at lahat sila ay nanlaban kung kaya't sinapit ang kanilang katapusan sa kamay ng batas. Ngayon lamang po natin nalaman na hindi pala ganoon ang totoong pangyayari. Sa pamamagitan ng mga pamilya ng mga biktima at sa pag-amin na din ng mga dating inatasan na magpatupad nito, ating naliwanagan ang katotohanan. Sa ganitong kadahilanan, tungkulin ng Kongresong ito, ng buong gobyerno, ng lahat ng ahensya at nating lahat na magtulungan upang siguruhin na mabigyan ng tamang hustisya ang bayan at ang biktima at magbalangkas ng mga hakbang upang tiyakin na hindi na mangyayari pang muli ang mga ito sa ating kasaysayan. Titiyakin natin na sa ating poder dito sa Kongreso ay may mga isusulong tayong panukala upang mabantayan palalo ang ating mga karapatan. Sa tiwala ninyong lahat sa Quadcom, kami ay nagpapasalamat at nangangakong hindi dito magtatapos ang lahat. Umpisa pa lamang po ito ng pagkamit ng hustisya para sa bayan. Magandang umaga at maraming salamat po. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Human Rights, Congressman Benny Abante. You are now recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair, sa atin pong Senior Deputy Speaker, Dong Gonzales, sa ating Deputy Speaker, J.J. Suarez. Gayun din, kinikilala ko ang former Pangulo ng Pilipinas, GMA. Gayun din ay sa aking mga tireless na mga co-chairs, distinguished colleagues na kasama po natin dito. At gayon din po, gusto ko rin kilalanin ang dating Senador Lala de Lima at ang ating mga resource persons. Mga kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyo. As we open this 9th hearing of the Quad Committee, let me begin by saying that this representation is heartened by the progress we have made. The journey has not been easy. It has been long and tedious and tiring. But though our work is far from over, we have already begun to see action as a result of the information and evidence we have gathered. Ito po ay binanggit na sa atin ng pinaka-chair po ng Quadcom na ito, si Congressman Ace Barbers. For example, together with my fellow chairs, we have filed a bill, House Bill number 10986, that seeks to classify extrajudicial killings as heinous crimes, crimes that, if proven, will be punishable by life imprisonment or 20 to 40 years in prison. Ito po ay significant step towards ensuring that those who commit such grave acts will face the full force of the law, whoever they might be. Ito po ay hakbang para di na maulit ang karumal-dumal na patayan na naganap sa war on drugs, a war that unfairly and tragically claimed the lives of innocents in the name of protecting the innocent. The war on po na ginawa ng dating administrasyon, wala po akong problema dyan. Ang malaking problema ko ay kung bakit kinakailangan merong mga pinatay na more than 20,000. Yan ang malaking problema ng ating bayan ngayon. We have also filed a bill, House Bill number 10987, that seeks to prohibit all forms of offshore gaming operations in the country and provide penalties for violations thereof. Additionally, the House Quad Committee has turned over critical documents to the Office of the Solicitor General. These documents pertain to the land acquisitions and properties believed to be owned, procured, or acquired by Chinese nationals in violation of our Constitution. We have urged the OSG to move swiftly and file severe forfeiture cases against those accused of fraudulently obtaining Philippine citizenship to illegally acquire land and operate businesses here. Our message is clear. We cannot allow foreigners to steal our land under our very noses. The law must be applied. And no one should profit from actions that undermine the integrity of our nation, especially foreigners who exploit the gaps and weaknesses in our bureaucracy. Meron ding mga LGU na kasama dito sa pagkakabenta ng mga lupang ito. Samantalang napakaraming mga kababayan natin ang walang lupa at walang bahay. Pero itong mga foreigners na ito ay nagmamay-ari na napakalaking lupa sa iba't ibang dako sa ating bansa. It is true that the gears of the law may sometimes grind slowly. But as we have seen, when properly oiled with testimony, evidence, and the steadfast desire to obtain justice, those gears will eventually crush the guilty. Our work may be exhausting, and at the end of each hearing, we may find ourselves tired and weary, but we know it is worth it when we see our patience and perseverance rewarded with progress. We know it is worth it when we see justice being served. To the craven who continue to run and hide in order to evade the long reach of the law, or those who cannot own up to their actions and face this committee, your time will come. To former President Rodrigo Duterte, who has signified his intention to appear before the Quad Committee, get well soon. Sana po makapunta kayo sa susunod na hearing. Sana po samahan ka ng ibang invited personalities na nagtatago pa rin. Sana po sa pagpunta nyo rito, marami mga katanungan ang maaari po ninyong sagutin. My friends, the Bible offers us encouragement in Galatians chapter 6 verse number 9, and I quote, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." End of quote. This passage speaks directly to the spirit that drives the Quad Committee. It reminds us that while the path of justice is often long and arduous, it is a path worth walking. It is this commitment to a just cause that gives us the willpower and endurance to hold these marathon hearings and to slowly unearth the evidence that will be responsible for exacting accountability for years of wrongdoing. To my fellow members, to the resource persons who have come forward with the truth, and to every Filipino who yearns for a just society, let us continue to press on. We may grow tired, but we will not give up. We believe that the pursuit of justice is not only our duty, but our calling. At dahilan po sa ating Quad Committee hearings na ito na po ang pinapanood ng maraming ating mga kababayan. Ayon nga po sa sinabi sa article ng Chief Justice Art Panganiban na ito pong Quadcom na ito ang pinaka-telenovela ng maraming mga kababayan. Bakit po? Sapagkat live and real time ang ating pinag-uusapan dito. Kaya mga kaibigan, sa aking mga kasangga, maraming salamat po. And may we continue to serve the cause of justice with faith in the Almighty and unwavering resolve. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.